Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending the time you're seeing this video. Welcome to my live stream. So on today's live show or on today's live stream, we'll be talking about how to conceive naturally. Boosting your fertility the natural way. Please, if today is your first time watching me, or if today is the first time coming across my video, please do well to subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell. It will always notify you whenever we go live. Thank you. So I welcome you all. If today is the first time, you're welcome. Even my subscribers, my followers, I welcome everybody in today's live show. You all are welcome. Without you guys, I won't be here. So I welcome all of you here. You are all welcome. So before I go on, let me explain the importance of natural conception. Natural conception is the process of pregnancy without medical interference. Medical intervention, is important for several reasons, including promoting natural fertility, allowing couples to plan pregnancies based on their needs and preference, and offering a holistic approach to family planning. It can also provide a sense of agency and control over reproductive health, especially when couples are seeking or postpone pregnancy. The truth is that infertility is not a death sentence. Infertility is not a sickness that cannot be managed. Yes, infertility is common and often manageable. Yeah, that's the assurance I'm giving you. I believe that after watching today's video, after hearing my talk or listening to my talk today, you will have a clearer understanding on what to do or on how to go about your infertility issues. But just know that it is not a death sentence. Just know that it is common and it's often manageable. So we'll go right into, so I will try to make us understand the meaning of fertility and infertility, because a lot of us don't even know the meaning of fertility and infertility. So I explain. Fertility refers to the ability of an individual or couple to reproduce naturally via sexual intercourse. You understand? It's a complex process involving the production of healthy eggs and sperm successfully. Yes. And successful fertilization and the implantation of embryo in the uterus. So that's just the meaning of fertility. Now, infertility is just the exact opposite of fertility. Just the opposite of it is it simply means not getting pregnant despite having carefully timed unprotected sex for 1 year. So that's just the definition of infertility. So going forward, I would like to give us the basic anatomy and then physiology of male and female reproductive system, at least for us to get to understand where we are going, because I want to break it down. I want to break down the whole, as in everything. I want to give the whole details, ranging from the top to the end. And I want to urge us, a lot of people is normally fond of this. You come across a video, you just watch without, watching to the end of the video. you just watch and then scroll away. I advise, please, try to stay and watch till the end of this video, because you don't know whether that part that you skip away, or that part you try to fast forward, or that part that you try to swipe away is actually where the main point is. So stay tuned, grab your water, grab your popcorn, and let's go through this together. Read and watch from the beginning of this to the end for you to get a clearer understanding on what or on how to conceive naturally without medication. Yes, it's you can actually do it. It's natural. Yes, you can do it. So please try and stay to the end of the video, because the ending part of it might actually be where your solution lies. The middle part of it might actually be where your solution lies, but without you knowing, you might just scroll away. So please stay to the end of the video, and if you have any question, at all, do well to write on the comment section. I promise to answer all of your questions sincerely. Any question at all, just ask and then I'll provide you the answers. So without wasting much of our time, I would like to tell us the basic anatomy and then physiology of male and female reproductive system. So the male and female reproductive system share fundamental similarities, in their gametes, sperm and eggs, and secreting sex hormones. However, they also have specialized differences to facilitate fertilization, gestation, and delivery in females. So let's talk about the male reproductive system first. Yes. So the anatomy of the male reproductive system. Wow. The key components include, number one, the testis. The testis is responsible for producing sperm and testosterone. We have the scrotum. We have the scrotum. The scrotum is the housing. The scrotum house is the should I say is the house of the testis, or should I say is housing the testis? Yeah, we have the epididymis. So epididymis is where the sperm are matured and where they are stored. In other words, you can say sperm maturization and storage. Then we have the vas deferens. The vas deferens is where sperm is being transported. You can just say sperm transport. Now we have the seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles. So these seminal vesicles are where the sperm is being produced. We call them the semen production. That's what we call seminal vesicles. They are called the semen production. Now we have the prostate gland. The prostate gland also is where the semen are being produced. They are also called the semen production. And then we have the ogbonge one, which is the penis. Now the physiology. Testosterone influences secondary sexual characteristics, the libido, and overall sexual function. And then the function of it is that it produces and delivers sperm, releases testosterone, and contributes to semen production. I don't know if I'm making sense. If you're having any confusion or if you have any question at this junction, just feel free to write your question in the comment section. I will answer you sincerely. Now let's move over to the female reproductive system, the anatomy. So below are the key structures. Number one is the ovaries. The ovaries are responsible for producing eggs and then estrogen and the progesterone. Now we have the fallopian tube. We call that the oocyte transport. The fallopian tube, yeah. Now we have the uterus. The uterus is the implantation and gestation. That's what we call it. Now we have the cervix. The cervix is connecting the uterus to vagina. Now we have the vagina. The vagina is the birth canal and site of sperm deposition. Now, talk about the physiology of the female anatomy. So we have the estrogen and the progesterone. They affect mood, the libido, and other aspects of female sexuality. Function of it is that they produce eggs, release hormones, provide a site for fertilization, and facilitate gestation and delivery. So having talked about the anatomy and the physiology of the male and female reproductive system, we will head straight to the number 2 part of natural ways of conception. We're going to talk about the menstrual cycle, ovulation, and fertility window. Remember, I said I am going to give us a breakdown, the breakdown of everything, starting from the head, starting from the top to below. So I'm not going to miss anything. I'm not going to try to jump or try to cut ways. No, I'll give us the full details of what we need to know, ranging from the top to the end, as I said. So without wasting much time, we'll be heading straight to the menstrual cycle, ovulation, and fertility. I will explain them one after the other. So number 1 here, I would like to explain what menstrual cycle is all about. So menstrual cycle is a series of natural changes in a woman's body that prepares her for potential pregnancies or potential pregnancy. Let me just use singular word now. So it involves the development and then the release of an egg from the ovaries, the thickening of the uterine lining, which is the endometrium, and if fertilization doesn't occur, the shedding of the uterine lining as menstruation. So the cycle typically lasts around 28 days, but can vary from 21 to 35 days. Just as everybody is different, so is our body too different. So some women have 21-day cycle, some have 22-day cycle, some have 35-day cycle, 32, that is the way it is. But should I say majority of women have 28-day cycle, and that is why they normally use, because that's the majority of women. Should I say 90% of women have 28-day cycle. So now, the key components of menstrual cycle, number 1 there we have the ovarian cycle. So this cycle involves the changes that occur in the ovaries, yes, including the development of an egg and its release. So the ovarian cycle is responsible for, should I say, ovulation and then formation of the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum, I spell corpus, then the luteum there is luteum. So number 2 there we have the uterine cycle. So this uterine cycle, focuses on the changes in the uterine lining, which is the endometrium. It thickens in preparation for potential pregnancy. And if no fertilization occurs, it sheds it sheds, resulting to menstruation. Now we have the hormonal control. So this hormonal control, the menstrual cycle is regulated by hormones, primarily estrogen and then progesterone, which are produced by the ovaries. So these hormones influence the growth and the release of the eggs, the thickening of the uterine lining, and ultimately the onset of menstruation. I don't know. Okay, let me come again on this hormonal cycle. So the hormonal cycle, the menstrual cycle is regulated by hormones. Yes, primarily the estrogen and the progesterone, which are produced by the ovaries. So these hormones influence the growth and the release of eggs, the thickening of the uterine lining, and ultimately the onset of menstruation. So that takes us to the number 4 of it, which is menstruation. Menstruation is the shedding of uterine lining, resulting in vaginal bleeding, typically lasting 2 to 7 days, depending on the woman's body. Yes, so it varies among women. Some women have some women menses last for 3 days, some 4 days, 5 to, while some last for 7 days, which the max is 7 days. So if your own pass more than 7 days, I advise please you to see a doctor or seek professional help. Yes, when your own lasts more than 7 days, please do well to seek a professional help. So now, important points to note. The menstrual cycle is a natural process that occurs throughout a woman's reproductive life. Yes, productive years, from puberty to menopause. Now, another thing to note is that the first menstrual period, which is the menarche, typically occurs between the age of 10 to 16. Yes. So to some girls, it might come early, while to some it might come late. So from 10 years to 16 years is when teenage girl is expected to see her first menstrual period. Now, another point to note is that the last menstrual period, which is menopause, usually occurs between the age of 50. Yes, it usually occurs between the age of 50. While to some women, it might come before then, while to some it might come after age 50. Just the way our body varies, just the way our body is different, is also the way these things work. So it works differently for women, for different women. And another point to note is irregularities in the menstrual cycle are common, especially in the years after menarche and before menopause. So these points are some few points that I need you to note down. So now, having talked about the menstrual cycle, so we head right through to ovulation. Talk about ovulation. What is ovulation? This ovulation that everybody we are always hearing. What is this ovulation all about? Now I will explain what ovulation is, and I'll give you a detailed explanation of everything, of how the ovulation works. So now, what is ovulation? Ovulation is the release of an egg from an ovary. Typically occurs around day 14 of a 28-day menstrual cycle, or about 14 days before the start of menstruation. During this phase, the egg travels down the fallopian tube, where it can be fertilized by sperm. So below, I'm going to give you a more detailed look about what this ovulation is all about. So number one detail of what ovulation is all about is hormonal influence. Yes, hormonal influence. I be if I would talk like my number people. Hormonal influence is the process of ovulation. The process of ovulation is triggered by a surge in luteinizing hormone, that luteinizing in brackets LH, and the follicle stimulating hormone in brackets FSH, which are released by pituitary gland. So that's the work of the hormonal influence. The process of ovulation is triggered by a surge in the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone, so which are released by a pituitary gland. Now we have ovulation timing. We have the ovulation timing. Ovulation timing is around the 28th cycle. Ovulation usually happens around day 14. So, however, ovulation can at different times for women vary cycle lengths with varying cycle lengths. So, let me explain this. The ovulation timing. Just as I said, humans' bodies are different. The human bodies are different. So in a typical 28-day cycle, ovulation usually happens around day 14. That is on a woman with 28-day cycle. The ovulation usually happens around day 14. But however, ovulation can vary at different times for women with varying cycle lengths. So women with 30-day cycle, their ovulation is not the same as a woman with 28-day cycle. A woman with 22-day cycle, her ovulation varies, is not the same as a woman with 28-day cycle. But because I said earlier on that the majority of women, that is 90% of women, have 28-day cycle. That's why we always use 28-day cycle for teaching. So now the number three thing there to look at is fertility. Yes. So a woman's most fertile days are generally the 2 to 3 days leading up to and including ovulation. The egg is viable for fertilization for about 12 to 24 hours after release. Yes. A woman's most fertile days are generally the 2 to 3 days leading up to and including the day of your ovulation. Because that day of your ovulation, the egg is viable for fertilization. And that egg can last for about 12 to 24 hours after it's been released. So, another thing there is signs of ovulation. Some women, all this thing is not something that everybody experiences. So some women may experience symptoms like lower abdominal pain, breast tenderness, increased cervical mucus, or a rise in a basal body temperature. This is for some women. It doesn't happen to everybody. Some women don't even have any sign why ovulation. The only reason, anyway, let me not say they don't have, because this increase in cervical mucus, majority of women experience that. Yeah. So another thing is tracking ovulation. Women can track their menstrual cycle and predict ovulation using methods like charting basal body temperature, observing cervical mucus changes, or using ovulation predictor kits. Or even you can even track. Now the world is the technology have taken over the world. So this time around, you can actually track your ovulation with your cell phone. At the end of this But at the end of this video, I'll be giving us some apps. I'll tell us the name of some apps you can use to track your ovulation and your menstrual cycle. So that is that for ovulation tracking. So now, having talked about the menstrual cycle, the ovulation, now we are going to talk about the fertile windows. Let's talk about the fertile windows. So this fertile window refers to the period during a woman's menstrual cycle when it's most likely to conceive. Yes, typically spanning the 5 days leading to and including the days of ovulation. So this window is about 6 days in total, with the highest chance of pregnancy. So below, I'm going to still give you a more detailed explanation about this fertile window. Number one there is, ovulation is is release of an egg from an ovary. That's because you cannot talk about fertile window without talking about ovulation. It's not possible. You can't talk about almost that the two work pari passu. So now, ovulation is the release of an egg from an ovary. So it usually occurs about 14 days before the next menstrual period in a 28-day cycle. So now we have the sperm survival. Sperm can survive in a woman's body up to 5 days. Yes, a sperm can survive in a woman's body for up to 5 days while an egg can live up to 12 to 24 hours after ovulation. Now you understand it. That is the reason why some people get confused about this particular one. They'll just be like, I thought they said ovulation is just a one-day thing, based on the fact that the egg is alive for just 24 hours. And after 24 hours, it dies. So some people just be like, I thought they said ovulation is a day thing. So how come if I meet my man maybe 2 days before my ovulation, I will now get pregnant? It's simple. That is because the sperm your man released on your body 2 days before your ovulation day is still very much active, is still very much alive. So when the egg is released on your day of ovulation, being the fact that it lasts for 24 hours, yes, but that sperm that was deposited in you 2 days before your ovulation day, which is still very much alive, meets the egg and then hatches it and fertilizes it. So that is the reason why you can get pregnant before the day of your ovulation. You see it now? So that is just it. Why? Because that egg is still very much, that sperm that your partner released in your body is still very much active, it's still very much alive. So once it meets the egg, it hatches it and it fertilizes it. And that is why pregnancy takes place. That is why you get pregnant. So your fertile window, that's what I'm going to talk about now. That's the next thing, fertile window. So fertile window is the period when an egg is present and available for fertilization. You see? So when the egg is already available there, it's waiting to be fertilized. And then, boom, there comes a sperm that have been deposited maybe 2 days before the day of the ovulation. What do you think will happen? Fertilization will take place. Why? Because the egg has already been deposited there and now is waiting for fertilize is waiting for something to happen for it to fertilize. And luckily for the egg, something has been deposited there to help it to fertilize and to start working immediately. So that is just it. That is just it for fertile window. So this means having unprotected sex during the 5 days before ovulation and the day of ovulation itself can lead to pregnancy. If you have sex 5 days before your ovulation and the day of your ovulation too, if you have sex that day, you will conceive naturally. That is just it. Conception will happen. So a lot of people find it difficult because they don't understand their cycle, because they don't know how their body works. But once you know how your body works, you know how these things work, you will time yourself and then know when to meet with your partner and know when to conceive. So, but the problem is that a lot of us don't how do I put it? We don't know how our body, our cycle works. So, and that's the more reason why I said you should stay and learn till the end. Do not swipe away, because you don't know whether that place you're swiping is where the main gist is. So, the number three, the another thing that I want to talk about here is importance of timing. Yes, importance of timing. So that you know when to have sex. So having sex around the time of your ovulation, especially within the fertile windows, it significantly increases the chance of conception. So it's very, very important that a woman that is trying to conceive times herself. Time yourself. Know when you are in your fertile window. Know when to meet with your partner, because that will help you, to conceive. It will make conception to be easy. It increases your chances of conception. So a woman who is trying to conceive should at least know your cycle, be able to time it, be able to know when to, meet with your partner. Now, another thing is tracking your cycle. Tracking your menstrual cycle, potentially using ovulation predictor kits, or monitoring the changes in your body basal temperature, in your basal body temperature. It can help you to identify your fertile window. So, in essence, the fertile window is the time frame when an egg is released. So making it most likely time for you to do what? To conceive. Yes. The fertile window is a time frame when the egg is released, and is available to be fertilized by sperm. So it's thereby making it most likely for conception to take place. So that is that for fertile window. So having talked about, we've talked about the anatomy and the physiology of female and male reproductive system. We've talked about the menstrual cycle. We've talked about the ovulation. We've talked about the fertile window. So next thing we are going to talk about now is the sperm health and function. Yes, to know if your sperm is healthy and to know the function of it. So that is the next thing we are going to talk about. Remember I said we'll talk about everything. We'll take everything step by step, gradually, till we get to our destination. So, talking about the sperm health and its function. They are crucial for male fertility. The sperm health and its function is very crucial for male fertility. So primarily focusing on the ability of sperm to fertilize an egg. A healthy sperm has a normal shape, significant quantity, which is the sperm count, and the ability to move effectively, that is motility. So sperm produced in the testes are essential for fertilization. Yeah, they are essential for fertilization, carrying the male's genetics material to the egg. Yes, within female reproductive tract. So that is it. It's a healthy sperm primarily focusing on the ability to fertilize an egg. So a healthy sperm has a normal shape. It has sufficient quantity, which is, talk about the sperm count. Then it must have the ability to, to move effectively. That is the motility of it. And then sperm produced in the testes are essential for fertilized egg, carrying the male's genetics materials to the egg within female reproductive tract. So below I'm going to give us the key aspects of sperm health and its function. Yes, so we'll talk about the sperm health and its function. There are some key words, to look into to know a healthy sperm and the function of it. So, number one there is the sperm count. So, a normal sperm count is typically 15 milliliters or more. It's typically 15 milliliters or more sperm. Sorry, what am I saying? A normal sperm count. Yeah, a normal sperm count is typically 15 millions. I wanted to say millions and I was talking about milliliter. So it's typically 15 millions or more per milliliter, per sperm milliliter. So a lower sperm count indicates reduced fertility. I don't know if I'm understood here. Okay, let me come again. Sperm count. A sperm count, a healthy sperm, a normal sperm count is typically 15 millions or more sperm per milliliter of semen. So a lower count can indicate reduced fertility. Now we have motility. Already I explained what motility is. Motility is the movement of sperm, is the ability of sperm to move effectively. So now sperm need to move effectively to reach and fertilize the egg. At least 40% of sperm should be able to move to achieve pregnancy. So in a situation whereby that is not happening, it indicates reduced fertility. It indicates infertility in men. Yes. So motility is a very important aspect of a healthy sperm. For you to know a sperm that is healthy and for it to function very well, it should at least 40% of the sperm should be able to move, should be able to move to achieve pregnancy. Now, another thing to look into about having a healthy sperm is the shape. That's the morphology. So sperm should have a normal shape with a typical oval head and long tail to facilitate movement. So the morphology of the sperm will also help to facilitate its movement, which is, by morphology I mean the shape of the sperm. It should be able to facilitate its movement. So when the shape is not shaping, when it's shapeless, it makes the movement, it indicates infertility in men. So another thing to look into to know a healthy sperm is the genetic integrity. Yes. So a healthy sperm must have good genetic material to ensure successful fertilization and development of a healthy embryo, whatever. So healthy sperm must have good genetic material to ensure successful fertilization and development of a healthy embryo. So when the genetic integrity is tampered with, that is where you see that's where infertility in men also come from. So another thing is spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis. That is another way of knowing a healthy sperm, and yeah. So this spermatogenesis is the process of sperm production in the testes. So it's called spermatogenesis. And it's influenced by hormones, and various factors. So the spermatogenesis is influenced by so many by hormones and then various factors. Now we have another this thing to know a healthy sperm, talk about the sperm capacitation. Yes, because before fertilization takes place, before a sperm is being fertilized, before fertilization take place, a sperm undergo a process called capacitation. Yes, before fertilization takes place, the egg undergoes a process, and that process, the sperm undergoes a process, and that process is known as capacitation, where they become capable of, penetrating an egg. So that's another way to know a healthy sperm, the sperm health. Now we have hormonal influence. So what is this hormonal influence? Hormones like luteinizing hormone. Okay, hormones like follicle stimulating hormone and also the luteinizing hormone, they are essential for sperm production. So the testosterone is the primary male sex hormone involved in sperm production and overall reproductive health. So now we have the lifestyle changes. This is another factor too. Your lifestyle choices, or your lifestyle choices, like your diet, your diet, and the exercising, smoking, and alcohol consumption. This can impact sperm health and fertility. So your lifestyle choices is also another important aspect for you for the male to look into if you are battling with infertility. Now, your diet, the kind of food you eat, the exercises you make, smoking, alcohol consumption, too much of caffeine, it can actually lead to, can impact the health of your sperm and fertility too. So another thing to also consider is another aspect of healthy sperm. Yeah, we have the semen analysis. Yeah. So a semen analysis is a test, that assesses sperm count, the motility, the morphology, and other factors, to evaluate sperm health and then identify potential fertility issues. So this semen analysis is very important. If you are experiencing infertility, and you're trying to conceive, it is very important for the man to undergo this semen analysis, so that to ascertain or to know what the problem is and to start on time to to solve it. Because if you're able to know your problem on time, you'll be able to solve it quicker. So it's very important. This semen analysis is very, very, very important, that a man, that couples battling with infertility, the man should undergo this test. So that is that for the sperm health. Now I take a recap again. We've talked about, we first talked about the meaning of fertility and infertility, yes. And then we talked about the anatomy and the physiology of the male and female reproductive system. We talked about the menstrual cycle, talk about the ovulation, and we talk about the fertile window. And now we just finished talking about the sperm health and its function. So now we are going to look at natural ways to boost fertility. Yes, we look at the natural ways to help boost fertility. So, to naturally boost fertility, focus on your lifestyle choices, like maintaining a healthy weight, eating a balanced diet, exercising regularly, and then managing stress. So quitting smoking and then limiting alcohol consumption, so also significantly improves fertility for both men and women. So in a more below, I'm going to explain what a woman should do to help improve or to help boost fertility naturally. And I'll also explain what a man should also do to help boost fertility naturally. So number one, for women, talk about the women one first. Number one is maintaining a healthy weight. Being overweight or being underweight can disrupt ovulation and regular cycles. So it's important for a woman to maintain a healthy weight, for a woman to know you don't need to be overweight, you don't need to be underweight. You need to maintain a healthy weight, so that you can ovulate, and then your cycles will be regular. Because when you have regular cycle, it's very easy for you to calculate and know your fertile windows. But when you are having irregular cycle, it's very difficult to calculate. So, and for you to have a regular cycle, for ovulation to be regular all the time, you need to maintain a healthy weight. So number two for the woman is prioritize a balanced diet. Yes, so in your diet, try to include fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, and then healthy fats like omega-3. There are other things, not just these ones. There are other things that I might still mention. If time permits, I might still mention those kind of fruits that you can take. But if time does not permit, maybe on our next class, before I start another teaching, I'll just list them out. So another thing to consider is supplements. Consider supplements like folic acid, vitamin D, and zinc. They may be beneficial for some women. So a woman trying to conceive naturally should consider these supplements. They might actually be of help to you. And another thing for a woman trying to conceive is to manage stress. Chronic stress can negatively impact infertility. So try to manage your stress level. Don't overstress yourself as a woman that that want to conceive. You're having infertility issues. Apart from as a woman that wants to even conceive, on a normal stress, you need to manage your stress level. You don't need to allow yourself to be stressed. So chronic stress can negatively impact fertility. So you need to manage your stress level. Don't overstress yourself, both mentally, physically, and otherwise. And another thing is to track your cycle. So understanding your menstrual cycle as a woman, understanding your menstrual cycle and then ovulation can help you time intercourse for conception. So when you time your menstrual cycle, when you time your ovulation, when you know the time you're ovulating, it can actually help you to know when to meet with your man, and then boom, conception will take place. So it's very, very important to track your cycle for a woman that, so it's actually one of the things that helps to, boost your fertility naturally. You don't need medication on this. You don't need to visit a healthcare management for this. This thing is natural ways that you can actually boost your fertility. So track your cycle. Know when you're ovulating. Know when to meet with your partner for intercourse. It helps. Another thing is regular sexual activity. Yes, regular sexual activity. So having sex regularly, especially around the time of your ovulation, or let me use the word around the time of your fertile window, it increases your chance of getting pregnant. So when you track your ovulation and know when you're ovulating, then during that your fertile window, during that your ovulation time, increase the way you make love to your partner, the way you have sex with your partner. Try to make during that period, because you don't know when conception will take place. So during that your ovulation period, so increase, have sex regularly, so because it might and it will increase your chance of getting pregnant. So that is that for the female. So let's talk about the men now. So for man, maintaining a healthy weight too, being overweight or being underweight can negatively affect sperm quality too. Prioritizing a balanced diet. So for a man, focus on antioxidants, healthy fats, and then protein. So it helps to produce a healthy. It helps the sperm health. Let me just say it that way. Yeah. Another thing for the men, quit smoking and then limit your alcohol consumption. These habits can negatively impact sperm quality and motility. So as a man that is trying natural way to conceive, natural way for natural way to boost your fertility level. Please, if you are a smoker, please quit and reduce your alcohol intake, because this habit, it negatively impacts the sperm quality and the motility. Remember, if your sperm is not able to move faster to meet an egg, fertilization will not take place. So that is it. Another thing there is to manage stress. The same way it is to women is the same way it is to men. So stress can also negatively impact sperm production. When you're overstressed, it negatively impacts the production of the sperm. Another thing is to stay hydrated. Whatever you do, adequate hydration supports your overall health and reproductive function. I don't know if you have noticed, most of the health topic we've been discussing since I started this health talk is always talking about the importance of water in a man's health. You see, so being hydrated is very, very, very important and necessary. It supports your overall health and your reproductive function. So try to stay hydrated in whatever you do. Another thing is to consider supplements like zinc and vitamin A. It might be beneficial for some men. So try to take some supplements like zinc and vitamin A. Who knows, you might be among those men that it will be beneficial to. So always try to do most of all these things. Another thing is that is that for the men. So I will advise, if you're trying to conceive, be patient. Yeah, it can take time to conceive. So be patient and don't get discouraged. Do not get discouraged, because it might be at that time that you're getting discouraged, might even be the time that your breakthrough is about to come. So in whatever you do not get discouraged. Always encourage each other. Always encourage your partner, always support your partner. In this journey of fertility issue, couples should be able to encourage each other. You should be able to work together to achieve this, and not, you see some cases, some men will try to blame their wife, or you see in some cases the women will try to blame the man. But for you to achieve conception, for you to achieve something great, you two have to work together, you two have to stick together, you two have to understand each other. And another thing, above all, you have to be prayerful. Yes, these are the natural ways mentioned to boost fertility. A lot of women might have tried it and it will work for them. Some will try it and it will not work for them. But one thing I know is that there is nothing that is too difficult for our God to do. So if you are in this category, you've been trying to conceive for a very long time and it is not happening, please also go to talk to God in prayers. Yes, talk to God. And then another advice, if you are below 30 years, or let me say if you are below 35 years, and then you've been trying to conceive for a year now, please, I advise, maybe you're trying to do it in a natural way, I advise to please seek a professional help. And if you are above 35 and you've been trying to conceive naturally for the past 6 months now and nothing is happening, please, I also advise you seek professional help. Yes, so in that case, you will know some things that you need to know. So That is that for natural ways of conception, natural ways to boost your conception, to boost your fertility. So we've come to the end of today's class. As I promised, I said I will share some of the app you can use to track your ovulation. So we have Flow. You can actually use Flow to track your ovulation. You can actually use there's another one that is called ovulation starter kit or something like that. You can actually use that. But the one that I know is working and is very effective and I advise us to use is Flow. So Flow helps to keep track of your ovulation. It has always been, it has not failed me. So, and I believe it won't fail you either. So it's actually a very nice product you can use, a very nice um, ovulation, ovulation app you can use. So that is that for today's lecture. Please, if you've been with us from the beginning till now, I want to specially say thank you and appreciate you for being with us from the beginning of this till now. Please do well to subscribe, like, comment, and share this this video so that it will reach as many people as possible that needs to hear this. Please do well to share this. A lot of people are dying there out of ignorance. So share this video, share it to reach as many as possible. So thank you very much for this. Thank you. I love all of you. I love you guys. You guys are my family and I love you all. Thank you and see you in our next class because yes, I come prepared. I came loaded to dish back-to-back lectures to us. So see you guys in our next lecture, in our next video, and I promise it's going to be awesome and wonderful. Thank you and God bless you. Please don't forget, subscribe and then hit the notification bell. It will help to notify you whenever I make a post. Bye.